Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic long weekend for some of you. Obviously, it's Labor Day weekend, isn't it? Hello, guys. Good to see you. Let's see who we've got. We have got Ren Zero. Good morning. Good to see you. We have got the Bash Brothers, Mark and Chris. Hello, guys. Good morning to you. Snorter Poopers Cuba. Hello. Good to see you. We've got, let me roll up. We've got Rap Marshall. Hello. Arwen Avalon. Hello, sweetheart. Good to see you. Good afternoon to Colin. Good to see you. I like the new name, Colin. Very cool. Dave G Sound, good morning. Film Lars, hello to you. Good to see you. Nearsighted Cyclops, good morning. Southern Cecil, good morning to you as well. Let's see who else we've got with us. Firefly MK1, good afternoon. Good to see you. Let's see who else has joined. You guys were busy today. Everyone with the food talk I was watching. And a massive, massive welcome. Hello, Deadman Walking. Good to see you. And Cam, good to see you as well. And a massive welcome to our newest member. Ian So Forth has joined us. So a huge thank you to him. Welcome to you, honey. Oh, gosh. You guys are the best. Owen says, we're all hungry now. Yep, I was reading the chat and having lunch whilst you guys are talking. Oh, you guys are the best. Anyway, today what I thought I would do is it's Monday. We've had quite a busy weekend, so I thought we'd just do a bit of a kind of pop culture roundup, look at a couple of stories and just kind of take it from there. Going to talk a little bit about Shang-Chi, going to talk a little about Aquaman, we're going to talk a little bit about Dune, all that fun stuff. So let me pull up the first one that I'm going to take a look at. There we go. Got too many tabs open. There we go. So, despite what people thought, Shang-Chi has apparently performed really well, they say. But their opening weekend. So they have, according to Variety, amassed a mighty 71.4 million in the opening weekend. Now, I don't know much about the Labor Day weekend. I don't know whether you guys spend it with family, whether it's one of the last holidays before Christmas, is it? I'm not sure. I know you guys have got Thanksgiving as well coming up, so Labor Day doesn't mean that much to me, but if anyone in the chat can kind of explain what it is, I would be very grateful. But it seems the it has paid off. As we already knew, Shang-Chi is just in cinemas at the moment. They are delaying the streaming service for 45 days. So we will see if the box office stays high or whether it drops off after this weekend. So let's see what they've got to say. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings delivered the sizzle that struggling movie theatres so desperately needed, debuting to a 71.4 million in its inaugural weekend. The Marvel adventure is on pace to rack up a mighty 83.5 million over the 4-day Labour weekend, trumping expectations that it had anticipated a debut between 45 and 50 million, whilst also shattering barriers for Asian representation on screen. No. Nope. You lost me with that sentence. Sorry, Variety, but what can you expect? The 3-day figure is... I thought they said it was a 4-day weekend. The film's 3-day figure is the second best of the pandemic era, falling just below Black Widow's 80.3 million haul and edging out F9's 70 million. It also marks a record for Labor Day openings, which is traditionally a sluggish weekend at the box office. Well, it sure as hell was last year, besting the previous high watermark set by 2017's Halloween, which pulled in 30.6 million more than a decade ago at the time, when catastrophic global pandemics seemed like stuff of sci-fi movies. Indeed. The Renzira says, lol, Asian representation on screen. Also, Yeah, also Hong Kong cinema never existed. If you read Variety, that's what they would have you believe exactly. And Colin says a mighty 83 million. Is that me? Or is that a low target, especially for a Marvel movie? Well, it's all about moving the goalposts, isn't it? You know, this they'll just say it was a great weekend, you know, and then they'll blame it on the coup, and they will also blame it on Labor Day weekend. Thank you, Snorter Pooper. So he says, Congress created Labor Day to honour and recognise the American labour movement and the works and contributions of the labourers to the developments and achievements of the United States. Thank you. Okay, that's a pretty cool holiday. And hello to Wondology and Zacharon. Good to see you guys. Mark says Labor Day used to be the last holiday of the summer. Now it's a dead holiday because schools start up early. That sounds about right. Oh my god! And Psychodwarf9, hello, honey. Good to see you. It says, it sends us a $2 super chat. Thank you, hon. It says, despite spin, Shang-Chi's got no legs. No, has anybody actually seen it? Just out of curiosity, because you know, I can read all of the reviews online that I want, but I would rather hear from you guys. Has anybody actually seen this film? Did you enjoy it? Are you going to see it? I've got to admit, for me, I'm still not going to see it because it just wasn't one of those ones that I was interested in. Not going to see it, not going to review it. Chris says, I'm sure the 83 million will soon be listed as an all-time MCU record set over Labor Day weekend. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're going to hang on to this for a while. And hello, good afternoon to Darren Prowess. Good to see you. Hello there. Let's see what else. Psychodor says Shang-Chi's going to be a triumph. Okay, a money loser. Yeah, I don't know. There just doesn't seem to be the hype for the film. I think it's balanced out for them. I think it was actually a really good idea for them to not be putting this on the streaming services at the same time. But I would say that for most films, any film that you really want to have a big opening weekend, you don't have it in competition directly with a streaming service. Nearsighted Cyclops says nope and nope. Getting me out of the swamp takes more than 10 rings. Renzira says it's 127 million, but it's worldwide. Yes, I've had a look at that. So that's 127.6, if I remember correctly. The estimate for it was 139. So we'll see. In the UK, what did they do? They did 7.7. Meh. Not great, to be honest. That was the highest. And then we had Korea, France, Russia, and Japan, bringing up the total. So yeah. So again, they go for the. They keep switching between the 4-day and the 3-day. So for 4-day, it's 83.5. For 3-day, it's 71.4. Okay. And then combined total is 139 with the rest of the takings overseas. Renzo says slightly short, can't see it having any legs. No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be forgotten quite quickly. Rab Marshall says, wasn't someone in this movie also that classic John movie, Hard Boiled? Indeed. Now, for me, what put me off was, one, it wasn't a character I was interested in. I didn't particularly have any interest, mostly in the MCU. I've got to admit, it's kind of lost my interest so far. But it's not a character that I had any interest in seeing. It's really odd. Mark says, I'm still going to see Dune. It looks phenomenal. Yes, we'll be getting onto Dune in a little bit, Mark. Much more excited for that one, absolutely. And that one does look like it's got very strong reviews. Let's see what else they're saying in good old Variety. So, Unlike Black Widow, Shang-Chi was showing exclusively in theatres. Black Widow opted for a hybrid release, which we already knew, and debuted on Disney Plus, where it was available to rent for $30. At the same time, it opened in the theatres, something that may have caused ticket sales to crater in subsequent weeks of release. Quite possibly. I will, like I say, be very curious to see what happens next weekend with the sales of Shang-Chi. The strong reception for Shang-Chi could impact the way that Disney rolls out future superhero adventures during the COVID-19. The studio has yet to make a decision whether or not The Eternals, its next comic book epic, will have an exclusive theatrical debut. I would be thinking that given the hype has kind of died off for the Eternals as well, they might actually be following what they've done with Shang-Chi, and maybe not 45 days, but maybe 30 days. Give them a window at the theaters before they release it on Disney Plus. It's so silly. It's so silly. Where did we get to? So the studio has yet to make a decision about whether or not we did that. Shang-Chi has pulled in 127.6 million after opening in key markets such as France, Italy, Spain, and the UK. It's also opened in Japan, Korea, Brazil, and Mexico. So we've got a pretty worldwide. Notice it. China didn't want to have anything to do with it, but again, we knew that. But not going to bother reading that because I know what it's about. Let's see what else they've got to say. So last weekend's champion was Candyman, which pulled in. I know this for a horror film, this is supposed to be quite good, but it only pulled in 10.5 million over the 3-day weekend. The horror film is on pace to earn 13.4 over the 4-day holiday. That will bring its total to 41.9. Impressive, given it only had a budget of 25. Yeah, I guess. But this is always generally the way with horror films. The lower the budget, as long as they either break even or go above it, it's always considered a great success. Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds action adventure from Disney and 20th Century Studios, earned 8.7 million over 3 days and should bring in about 11.2 over the holiday to finish third. And then it just goes on to whatever other films we've got going on. I completely forgot that Jungle Cruise existed. Forgot that was a thing. And there isn't really much else on at the moment that would really get people's attentions. But let's have a look-see. So Black Widow, it's still falling behind Black Widow, which hits 80 million day-on-date release. So Shang-Chi comes in second, and then F9. It didn't really do that much better than F9, I've got to admit. And this is part of the MCU. This is the Stage 4, and F9 is obviously the 9th part in this franchise that has kind of run out of steam at this point. And then we just kind of fall off the cliff, so it goes down to Quiet Place, which actually did surprisingly well for a horror film. And then we go back down because we're into, films that were hit by the pandemic. Poor old Mortal Kombat, look at that. And nobody wanted to see Cruella, apparently. Are we surprised? Not really. And look what's down the bottom. Snake Eyes. Incidentally, did anybody see Snake Eyes as well? Yes, I just kind of wrote that film off completely. Mark says, no Clifford reviews? Hashtag Clifford needs love too. I didn't even know it was a thing, Mark. I did not know that this was a film. Renzira says F9 is far bigger to compare to Shang-Chi, to be honest. Yeah. Yes. And Nearside Self-Club says, my understanding is Candyman is a reboot. So again, no, it is. Yeah, it's a reboot. It's a retelling. Again, did we need it? Probably not, but we got it anyway. Chris says, did anyone actually want a Candyman reboot? I still have my original in my DVD collection. Exactly the same. Absolutely. Yeah, no. As much as I love Tony Todd, I don't care about another reboot of it. And Chris says, I gave up on the Recon Snake Eyes. I think everybody did. The interest just absolutely died when they announced what they were going to do with that film. Let's see, they got anything else? No. Okay, that is, get rid of that because we don't need that anymore. But let's see what else they were saying. So, overall, it's estimated that in a like-for-like market, the current exchange rate, it's going to, so it's going to bow international. It's about 53% ahead of the Suicide Squad and 29% below Black Widow. I'm still surprised at how badly Suicide Squad did. You'd think on paper it would have done so much better, but apparently not. But that's okay. Deadline also says that in IMAX, Shang-Chi grossed 13.2 million worldwide. This sets a Labor Day weekend opening record for the IMAX. Internationally, the film took 5.2 million. Now, I don't think I'd even bother seeing it in IMAX. I haven't seen an IMAX film for a long time. But it does also go on to say that the one market in which the film underperformed was in Korea, which typically loves Marvel. However, this first Hollywood title to open at number one over several weekends, they weren't that interested in, weirdly enough. So there you go. Shang-Chi is a little bit meh, even though they were trying to spin it to say that, it's had a fantastically successful weekend. Everybody loves it. We will see. I still will not be going. Arwen says, I would love to see some of these meetings in which they choose what films to reboot. Some of their choices are bizarre. They are. I'm probably really sick of the same as everybody, reboots, remakes, remasters. Claude, hey, good to see you. Says if M. Night Shyamalan keeps making movies that lose money, Hollywood will go bankrupt and implode. Go ahead, M. Indeed. Let's see what else you guys are saying. And hello to Mexican Iron Man. Good to see you. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you got back safe. He sends us a super sticker, and it's a little Shiba Inu with a bone. Thank you. Thank you, honey. Much appreciated. I hope Perez is doing okay as well. Uh, and Fireflies says, I'd like to know what drugs I'm taking in these reboot meetings. Indeed. Campion says, nobody wanted a Candyman reboot except the people who owned it. Yes. And Rab Marshall, don't give them any ideas. They'll reboot or remake Critters next. Well, I think Gremlins is supposed to be on the cards for a remake or a reboot or something I read. I hope not. I love Gremlins. It's such a good movie. And he cited Cyclops that Suicide Squad got Me Too'd. Well, James Gunn did. James Gunn got himself into trouble. That's his own damn fault. I've got to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of James Gunn, but I did actually like the film. So it's a case of separating the art from the artist in this instance. But let's see what else we can have a chat about. Let me share this one as well. I think the other one I'll bring up later on. So we have got a new look at Aquaman 2, another film that has kind of died off a little bit. The people were like, oh yeah, we've got a Aquaman 2 coming. I liked the first Aquaman. It was fun. I like Jason Momoa. Or at least I did till he went a bit weird. But he's back and he's his new suit, apparently. So, Aquaman is getting some upgrades. Jason Momoa, star of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, revealed on Instagram that his Atlantean superhero will be receiving a new suit for the upcoming sequel. A same but different look from the design based on Arthur Curry's original DC Comics look. The actor posted 2 side-by-side photos of himself in full costume, with the original coming first, leaving fans just wait to see what lies ahead of everybody's favourite aquatic hero. Second round, new suit, more action, Momoa wrote, signing the post with his traditional Aloha J signature. The new suit, while retaining some of the basic style as the original, has received a significant upgrade in colour, moving away from the bright oranges and greens to a muted navy blues and blacks, whilst also downsizing the suit's ribbed scaling. The fins on Curry's boots have also been removed. I quite like those. I thought they were cool. While the concept of matching gloves has been nixed entirely. Additional plating has been added to the arms and legs of the suit, according to the director James Wan. The second suit will be Arthur's stealth suit for the movie, adding that the new suit is the Atlantean tech based on the cephalopods camouflaging ability. Cool. David Leslie Johnson and I were inspired by the 80s blue suit. Let's see what else they've got. And we have got some pictures down below. This new look is a distinct turn away from the traditional for DC superhero, as most of the heroes featured in the DC extended universe, including Batman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash, have remained fairly true to the comics in their designs, minus upgrading their tights for actual armor. Costume designer Richard Sale has assumed Aquaman's traditional bright colours for this new suit, which might mean something significant is coming for Arthur Curry. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is set to take Curry to the titular Lost Kingdom, a part of the Atlantean Empire lost to time after the Empire fell into ruin and went into seclusion underwater. What this Lost Kingdom is, or what it holds for Curry, no one yet knows, but with cast members Patrick Wilson, Amber Heard, yay, Tamora Morrison and Dolph Lundgren returning, alongside I can never pronounce this person's names correctly. Jahan Abdul Mateen Black Manta. Looks like it's set to be a real family affair, and it comes out later on. Well, way later on. I thought it was actually coming out like March next year, but it's actually December 16th. Holy hell! Yeah, we've got a long way to wait for that one. It's probably why the hype's died down. I actually like this look. What's going on there, Jason? See if it'll move across. And there's the new suit. I think it's cool. It's a little bit. It's not nearly as interesting. It doesn't say Aquaman to me. I've got to admit. But I like the boots. I think they're pretty cool. Would have preferred him to have gloves. I think I've got to admit. But he always looks so serious now. He used to be such a fun guy. Let's see what you guys are saying. Snorter says Amber Heard will just yes, she will. That's what they say. Mark says at least they didn't chop off his hand and replace it with a harpoon head. Don't give them any ideas because they will do it. Arwen says, I like the gold suit. What's the vendetta against bright colours? I liked it as well. I gotta admit, I thought it was a more interesting look. I like the golds and the greens, and I really, really like these gloves and gauntlets. I thought that was a really cool look to him. I thought the boots were really good as well. It's a little bit muted, I've got to admit. Let's see. Jason seems to have no luck. His co-stars go insane and he loses jobs. Well, he kind of went a little bit insane himself, so yeah, he kind of went a little bit woke. Bless him. But he seems like he's a good guy. Jason Momoa is a badass actor. He looks like he's half a step away from becoming fat. Yes. He is ripped when he's not, when you see him, he puts a lot of work in, but I think he's one of those guys, like you say, that if he didn't work out all the time, he could definitely get chunky. And Colin says, but wouldn't their own logic require them to place Jason Momoa with a one-handed actor? Yes, they would, but they wouldn't do it because everyone loves Jason Momoa. Armin says the original suit, we could tell he belonged in the ocean. With the new one, can't tell what the heck he's supposed to be. Yeah, I can admit it doesn't do much for me, I've got to admit. I know it says it's a stealth suit, but is this going to be the suit he's wearing throughout the entire film? Or is this just something they're adding as an extra? I guess we'll see. Snorter Pooper says Hollywood is just running around in circles, copying each other and smelling their own farts. Yeah, that's pretty much Hollywood at this point. But I was actually surprised at how late this film was coming out. I was sure for some reason that it was like I thought it was March next year. You know, we've got a lot of kind of the uh films of that sort coming out in that area. I thought for some reason that this was one of them, but apparently not. We've got to wait until December to see Aquaman 2. I'm fine with that. Oh my gosh. Cam Cam says new suit equals new toys. Doesn't look like he's got much there. He doesn't even have his trident with him. So the other thing that I was going to talk about today, guys, I know everybody is one of the biggest films that people are excited about is Dune. We've got some early reviews in, and they're really positive, and I'm really, really happy for the fans. You know, this is something that everybody was really nervous about. They wanted it to do well, but we got to, you know, there's this kind of knee-jerk reaction. Is it going to be woke? But apparently not. Apparently, this is a really, really great adaptation. Now, this is obviously only the first part. We've got part two coming as well, but it's positive, and I'm really, really happy. This is one of the ones that I'm most looking forward to going to see. So let's see. Adapting Frank Herbert's Dune, the opening chapter in one of sci-fi's most influential and sweeping stories would be a daunting proposition, no matter who you are. But if anyone's going to do it, that person is director Denis Villeneuve, who proved with films like Arrival and Blade Runner 2049 he can craft big budget sci-fi like nobody else. And he has made Dune very much his own, but also brought the novel's pages to life in a way that's so instantly iconic that it feels inevitable. Of course, this is what Dune is, how the desert planet Arrakis looks, the shape of the starships that carry the members of the House Atreides there, the towering silhouette of the monstrous Baron Harkonnen. Yes, I think from what we can, from the early reviews, from what people have been saying, it is really, really positive, and I'm so happy for people looking forward to this film. Mark says just Ronan as Gunny Halleck is so perfect. Awesome. Renzura says Dune has also always had a strong female characters. They were just done so well that no one needed to woke it up. Indeed. Let's see. How much of the first books does the first part cover? I'm not sure. From what I can tell, this is literally the first book is the first part. But I'm very much looking forward to seeing this. Mark says Dune is religion. I'm expecting nothing but goodness from this movie. I know you are a massive, massive fan, Mark. So I'm really, really happy that we're getting something positive from this. Firefly says, "Let the spice flow." Absolutely. Let's see what else they say. So, like the 1965 novel, Dune follows House Atreides as at the direction of a distant galactic emperor. They assume control of the spice harvesting operations on Akaris. Spice is the most valuable substance in the universe, and the planet's previous stewards, the infamously brutal House Harkonnen, won't let it go easily. The film only covers about half of the novel. Okay, there we go, which gives room for it to breathe a little bit. That's pretty cool. So again, Mark was talking about the cast. So we've got Jason Isaacs, we've got Rebecca Ferguson playing Lady Jessica. Who else have we got? I know we've got a really big cast. Josh Brolin obviously is in this. That's pretty cool. I am looking forward to it, and I will put my hands up and say I am not the biggest Dune fan. I'm really not. But that's neither here nor there. If it's a good film, if it's something that people are looking forward to, that is what gets my attention, and I'm really happy for the fans. So let's see what else that they've got to say. Dune makes a deft use. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. That's why I haven't pulled this review up. Dune makes a deft use of its considerable runtime at 155 minutes, and the fact that it's bisectioned. Unlike in previous adaptations, including David Lynch's 1984 version and the low-budget 2000 Sci-Fi Channel series, the audience get to know each member of the cast, particularly those in the Atreides household. This feels like a true ensemble, although Ferguson and Chalamet stand out in particular. Much of the film takes place from Paul's perspective as he accompanies his father in his duties or confronts Reverend Mother. Let's see what else I can pick out without giving too many spoilers away. It goes on to talk about the score. So Hans Zimmer's score punctuates each scene with alien sound instruments and wailing vocals. The desert planet appears mortally scorching. The battles between House Atreides and Harkonnen are devastating. The entire film possesses an unrivaled scale. Ships the size of skyscrapers and armies of thousands lend needed sense that these are powerful factions of a galaxy-spanning empire vying for control of the forces of life and death. It's everything a sci-fi nerd could hope for, and then some. That is a fantastic and really, really hopeful message for this film. Oops. Let's see what else you guys are saying. The cast is so perfect. Their ages are all correct, and they have captured everything perfectly from what I've seen. Awesome. Colin says, I think I need to read that cover the part until Paul takes the spice and becomes yes. And hello, good to see you, Alex. It says supposedly it covers half of the first book. Yes, it does. So part 2 will be the second part of the first book, and I'm guessing if this does very well, they will continue with the series, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm trying to avoid spoilers as well, Renzero. That's why I didn't, one, pull up the review, because I didn't know what was going to be in it, and two, I can just pick little bits out to read to you guys. But I say I'm really, really happy. Jim Macabre, good to see you. I've not read the Dune books, but I hope to get a good film. I'm not exactly holding my breath though. Tomorrow War was awful, and the non-woke movie fans pushed it hard. Now that one I've heard mixed things about. I've got to admit I haven't seen the film yet, so it's definitely on my list to watch. Tomorrow War. But I heard even though it wasn't a great film, it was at least a fun watch. Snodder Pooper says, I hope the score is good. I'm a fan of epic scores. Zimmer has always been hit and miss for me. Yes, I really hope that he does it. I mean, according to the reviews that I've read, the music and his score is actually one of the really, really great parts of this. So I think he seems to have nailed it on this one. Arwen says, I'm partway through book 1 and have to admit I'm loving it. Renzero says the book series gets really weird as it goes on. Let's see what. So I think people have probably seen this, and I will talk about it as well because a lot of people have brought it up. And this review does also mention it as well. So it says, the elephant in the room, if there is one, is the fact that Dune is almost 60-year-old story that suffers from a reliance on the all-too-familiar white saviour trope. Paul Atreides, a powerful young white man, is hailed as a messiah and the fulfillment of a prophecy by many, though not all, of the brown-skinned residents of Akaris. The vague unease this trope in parts might have been mitigated by casting a non-white actor in Paul's role, although one can hardly complain about Chalamet himself. And during interviews with the press, including GameSpot, the director said he views Dune's larger story as a rebuttal of the white saviour tropes. This may not have come across in this chapter, but I'm inclined to give the visionary director the benefit of the doubt and see where the tale goes. Now, we've heard about part two as well, and we do know that Chanley has a much bigger role in part two. Um, so I think I would be very kind of wary as to where they're going with that. I'm not a big fan of Zendaya anyway. So, but apparently, the Skarsgård is really great in this as well. But I think he's a great actor. But that would be, I think, of all the things that they've kind of latched onto, that whole idea of the white savior trope just seems to come up time and time again. So if that's all they've got to complain about, I'd say it's a pretty good film. Mark says, "Oh, this reviewer is a damn moron." Yes. And he says they're all basically Greek. And that's what I thought as well. I thought that was the kind of, whole idea. Okay, Mediterranean. Did this idiot read Dune? Probably not, no. I would be inclined to say not. Going through. So, this one has given them a 10. So, they've listed the good parts. So, the good, fantastic cast. Spends a lot of time getting to know each of the characters. All the characters are really well developed. The scale of the movie is supposed to be awe-inspiring. They talked about in the review the desert planet, the size of the ships, that practical sets and effects look great. Also, apparently, that's a plus. Gorgeous music and cinematography. Now, you guys are talking in the chat. Maybe Zimmer is a little bit hit and miss, but it does seem like this time he's actually kind of knocked it out of the park with this one. So that's pretty awesome. And also, it effectively adapts the novel onto the screen. So, really great points. Really excited about the film. And again, the one bad point that they've put is, like the original story, it relies on the familiar white savior trope. Let's just see if we've got any comments that I can pull up. Yep, so pretty much everybody in the comment section is blasting them because of the trope that they brought up. Somebody says the white savior angle is very much a stretch here. The original Dune universe doesn't even necessarily reflect current racial and cultural makeup. In fact, much of the universe has a tangibly Persian and Arab cultural touch. The Atreides are not supposed to be white in the modern sense, nor are the Freemen supposed to be non-white. Their differences are mainly cultural ones. Also, the critique of the messianic figures is a primary theme in the series, so the fact that Paul seems like the good guy right now doesn't mean it's an endorsement of that particular trope. Quite the opposite. Clearly, this reviewer doesn't know much about the series, so he will look kind of silly if we ever get a second film. It also mentions that the white savior critique is valid in a movie such as Avatar, but it's completely out of place here. Here it just looks like a lazy way of scoring PC points. That I would absolutely agree with. Snorter Pooper says the name Atreides comes right out of Greek mythology. The Atreides were a family carrying a generational curse. Agamemnon, Clytemnestra, Orestes, and Electra. Indeed. Firefly says you can't go wrong with a great soundtrack, definitely. And I think a film with as much scope as this one does, it really, the music would have been so important. I think you would have noticed immediately had they got this wrong, but it does seem like they've actually nailed it, which is pretty damn cool. Mark says, whoops, skips on me. Paul is definitely not a hero. He's actually a failure. And I'm saying way too much. Let's see what else you guys have got to say. Arwin says Hollywood does zero research. Yeah, from what I can tell from this reviewer, and guys, if you do want to look at it, I will say this is actually from GameSpot. And so take that with a gigantic grain of salt. Um, I purposely picked this one because I knew that one, they have a history of not really doing the research that they should do, and two, they are generally very, very biased, which is why I wanted to see what they had to say. Let's see. Let's see what else. The only thing that people are also saying is at least they kept the comments open, even though they're getting blasted for it. Top tier clickbait. Yep. Somebody also says, who cares about the savior's race or sex in the movie? It's irrelevant. They should be judged by their acting skills, not by their skin color. Absolutely. So I think even though that they've tried desperately to try and push this whole negative trope, this film looks like it's going to be a massive success, not just for the not just for for Hollywood, but for the fans as well, and for people that love this book, that love this series. Mark says, hopefully the soundtrack will make a nod back to Toto's soundtrack from Dune 84. I completely forgot about that, Mark. Nearsighted Cyclops says that maybe they wanted to make a movie that might still be relevant in 10 years. That is a brilliant suggestion. Yeah, who would have thought, not trying to wedge in current day politics into a film from a book that's was 60 years old. Absolutely. I'm excited for this, guys. I've got to admit, this is one film that I do actually really want to see. Like I said, it seems like it's had a really strong impression on a lot of people. Villain Video has said that part 2 is ready to go. They're just waiting on the green light. I think they're going to get it. I'm 99.9% certain we are going to get the part 2. Whether it will be continued after that, I don't know. I think part 1 is going to have a really, really strong connection with the fans. I think people are really going to enjoy it. I think it's going to do well. I hope it's going to do well. I would be curious to see how it gets released. Are they going to do it just at the in cinemas? Because obviously it is out in certain places right now. Or are they going to do it streaming also? But this is one of those ones that I think you really have to see on the big screen. Yeah, I think part 2's a go for sure, to be honest. I do as well. I think we're definitely going to get it. The fact that they've announced it, the fact that they've leaked details about the plot and about the cast, it's going to happen, absolutely. But guys, what do you think? Are you excited for it now that the reviews have started to come in? Is this something that, or has it kind of put you off? As I know there are a lot of people that were really, really anticipating this film and just wanted it to do well. Take care, Firefly. You have a good day. Almond says, I'll definitely shell out money to see this on the big screen, complete with popcorn. Me too, I think. Yeah, this is definitely one of those ones that it's going to be it's probably going to be either friends or family. We're going to get together as a group. We're going to go see this film and we're going to enjoy it. And I'm really looking forward to it. Let's see. Let me see. When is it actually out here? Oh, October 22nd. Cool. So not far away, guys. So that's when the US get it. So let's see. Let's see when we get it, because they've had a really staggered release. And 21st. Okay, so we get it on the 21st. You guys get it on the 22nd. That's not bad. That's pretty good. Inside Supplement says I won't do the opening weekend, but we'll do second or third week. Yeah, I probably won't do opening weekend, but I will probably do it midweek, I think. depending on when I can fit it in. Renzero said, yes, this will be the first film that will get me back to the cinema because the others have been meh. I've got to admit, I did go back to see Suicide Squad, but before that, the last film that I saw in the cinema was The Joker. Actually, I wanted that's the last one. You guys putting spoilers in the chat. You guys are nuts. But I'm really happy for the fans. You know, they've got what they deserve. They got a great film, so very much looking forward to it. So, guys, massive thank you to everybody who joined today. You guys are the best as always. I will be back Wednesday. Not sure what I'm going to do. I might do something a little bit more fun, I think, Wednesday. Huge thank you to everybody who joined in the game stream yesterday. I will probably be doing another one of those during the week. So I'll keep an eye out for that one as well. And just a massive thank you guys for joining me today. Really appreciate it. As Loki said earlier, this evening he has got the watch party. So that will be on his channel at 5 p.m. Central. If you guys want to come join and watch, we'll be watching Team America. So that should be a lot of fun. And yep, as I say, I will be back on Wednesday. So a huge thank you to everybody who joined today. Thank you guys for the chat. Thank you for the super stickers. Thank you for the super chats. And thank you to our new member. Really appreciate you guys. So take care, be good to each other, and I will see you all again soon. Bye, guys.